Hi, welcome to Module 3. In this module, we're going to look at engaging with people. So let's get started. The VS5 framework is a simple 5-step framework that anyone can apply over and over in their business to get repeatable, transferable results from any website. I know this because I've been doing this for a long time. It covers 5 steps. The first one being focused, working out who we're selling to, what words they use to find us, and doing our SEO. Step 2, which we completed in the last module, was to attract people. And that's about producing great content that attracts people to our website, not only from the search engines, but also through the sharing process using social media and making sure that we get it out there. But our main focus is producing great quality content, improving our pages and writing new articles to attract search traffic. This week we're looking at engage, and this is about building trust. This is about capturing people and building trust with them so that they'll buy from us. Trust is the most important factor in marketing. Next, we need to convert them, because let's face it, if we're in business and we don't sell, we're not in business. That's pretty straightforward. And lastly, we need to continue to educate people after they've bought from us, or if they don't make a decision to buy from us at that time, to continue to build trust through education by putting ourselves up as the expert in that field and sharing information with them so that when they are ready to buy, they either come and buy from us, or if they have a friend who's ready to buy, they recommend us so that we have those referrals. So let's get started on Module 3, Engage. Step 1. The first step we need to do when we're engaging with people is we need to have something that actually allows us to form a connection with them and get some information about them so we can continue to communicate. So we need to design an irresistible lead magnet. So what does that mean? Well, it means developing something that people will happily download without much thought, that is of extreme value to them, so that they just see it and they go automatically, yep, I want that, and give you their email address and name to contact them. So which is the biggest audience? When you're thinking of your business, we often think about selling to people we already know. And realistically, when you look at the amount of money you can make, the amount of people you already know is a really small percentage of the total market. So as far as dollars goes, they are a comparatively small percentage of what you could be making. The next group of people are people that know of you. So they may have seen you speak, they may have met you at a networking event, they may have read a book or seen a video by you, but they know of you. It's a much bigger audience, okay? So they don't necessarily know you personally, but they know of you through the information that you've been sharing through the community and online. And it means it's worth a lot more money to you. But the biggest audience of all, the one that most people forget, funnily enough, even though we talk about attracting people to our website that they haven't seen us necessarily before, they actually forget that the group of people that don't know you is far, far bigger than the group of people who know you or know of you. So this is where the big money is. And the key that I'm putting forward here is that through attracting people to our website, we've got people who don't know us. So if they don't know us, why would they just suddenly buy from us? It's really simple. They're coming in cold. So they need to make some sort of connection with you. And this is where we talk about engaging with them. So we take them from not knowing us from Adam to knowing of us, and hopefully moving to the point where they convert and then they have bought from us before, so they know us personally, I suppose would be the best way to put it. So think about that. Your biggest audience is that audience that doesn't know you, so you need to connect with them and build trust. So what can you give away of value, real value, not just grab this ebook, okay, something that they can consume quickly and is worthwhile them giving you their email address or their email address and first name. It's something that really takes a bit of thought. Our natural processes jump to, I can write an ebook. I've heard someone talk about that, or I can do a video. But is that going to be enough? Sometimes it might be the title of the video that encourages people to actually watch it. but it has to be killer content. If you just put average stuff up there, people are going to be disappointed. So I've often heard it said, give away your absolute best stuff to get people on your list, and then you can continue to grow from there. So have a think about that. What can you give away of real value that can be consumed quickly? So let's have a look at some examples and let's discuss them and think about how they might work with our business, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. So I've got a couple of examples here. The first one is a cash map. Second one is a Facebook leads booklet. Second one is a podcast cheat sheet, but it's not just one sheet. You'll notice there's actually our contents there, so it's about 10 to 15 pages. We then have a lesson plans book, which is one of my lead magnets for a particular market. We have one called 7 Reasons Why Your Mortgage Sucks by Loan Market. We have a voucher that people can sign up to get. And we have a tick sheet, or a cheat sheet as it's called in this case, for some basic SEO. Let's look at them individually. What can we consume quickly? Well, a cash map is one page. We can look at that, we can read it, and we can consume it, and we can think, I've done that, I haven't done that, I haven't done that. Okay, straight away, you have made an impact on that person. You've got them thinking, oh, I'd like to know how to do that. Or it says here that you can use this tool. Oh, where can I find that tool? Well, you might sell that tool, whatever it happens to be. Straight away, you look at those things, whether you can do it or not. The second one, Facebook lead ads, is a complete booklet on how to set up Facebook lead ads, where they pop up and it fills in the person's name from their Facebook profile and they say send, and you as the advertiser get the information. Now, it's a really good step-by-step book, but I don't know if it would necessarily be the best lead magnet. I think for that particular audience, it probably works really well. Otherwise, John Limmer wouldn't be doing it. But in your case, would that be as useful? Maybe, maybe not. Think about your business. The next one, the podcast cheat sheet. I know a little bit more around the back end of this one because I've listened to Pat Flynn for a few years. And the fact of the matter is, one of the best articles he ever wrote on his website, funnily enough, an article, is about how to start a podcast. It's one of the top ranking pages in the world on how to start a podcast. So I think this ties into that. He knows there's an audience there. He does have a plugin that he sells for WordPress that allows you to list your podcast episodes and all that. So there's a few tie-ins here. So he's targeting that audience. It's very specific. It requires a lot more work to produce something like this, and that's something to take into consideration, I think. So again, a few tie-ins, but fits with what his market's after and what he knows people were looking for. Okay? The next one, lesson plans. 60 computer lesson plans for retired teachers. I give this away free now on my lesson plans site to teachers. It used to be a book I sold for many years for $37. In fact, I've sold tens of thousands of copies of this book. And I've given away a lot of copies as well. Probably give away a couple hundred copies a month of people who download that book and go onto my list. It used to be, the sort of thing I would sell. Now I would say it's not as useful for teachers as it once was, but it has great ideas in there. So I would rather give it away than necessarily charge for it, I suppose is the best way to look at it. And I decided that I did have other products there, so I could afford to turn this one, which has a nice catchy cover. You'll notice I've done some design on that cover. It gets people's attention and gets them onto my list because they're far more valuable on my list than they are just looking around my site. The next one, 7 Reasons Why Your Mortgage Sucks by the Loan Market. Now, I like Loan Market, but this, to me, there's a problem with this, okay? 7 Reasons Why is a great way to actually write something people are going to consume quickly, because it's 7 reasons, it's not too much, sounds like a small amount of information, might save you a lot of money. But the reasons why your mortgage sucks is a negative perspective on things. And it does work with some of the population, so engineer types are always looking to solve problems. It may work with them more, but with creative people and other people, it might not. I personally think, having tested these sorts of headlines and seen other tests on them, that using a negative headline is not as good as using a positive headline. Like 7 ways to make sure you get the best mortgage at the best price or something like that. Okay, obviously you'd write it better, but switch it around and make it positive, it will have a better impact, because people don't want to know that they're doing the wrong thing unless they specifically want to know what are things that you could be doing wrong, that you could be doing a different way. But most people don't like to be told that they're stuffing up. Okay, so for me to download a thing that says you're an idiot, that your mortgage is bad, that's kind of personal. So think about that. Okay, go positive, not negative. The next one, enter your email and enjoy 15% off your entire order. This is a really simple one for like restaurants and even places where you do consulting. You can offer 50% off or first half hour free or whatever it happens to be. But it's a really simple lead magnet, and yet it doesn't require a lot of work to put together. It's effective. The key element to think of here is you're giving away a percentage of your profit, which is fine, but you've got to factor that into things. Are you better bonusing up, or do you find that the free consultation is good? Now, where you've got to be careful with this is some industries, everybody offers a free consultation. So whoopee-doo, finance industry. Every accountant says, come in, sit down and talk for an hour for free or half an hour for free. Lawyers, not so much. Financial planners, definitely. So if your industry is such that everybody's doing this, then don't use that as your special offer. Okay, come up with something better. The last one I think is probably the best one for most businesses, and that is a cheat sheet or tick sheet, depending on how you like to look at it. Cheat sheet meaning it's just a list of things that you can quickly use and apply it in your business to shortcut a series of processes. So in this case, a tick sheet of things for SEO. So it might be, make sure you've done all your titles that they're individuals, make sure you've done all your descriptions, make sure you've done your alt tags, make sure you've done your H1 headings. People can look at that and go, put it there next to their page and go, tick, yes, tick, yes, tick, yes. No, I haven't done that one. Okay, tick, yes, whatever. Okay, tick sheets are great. Consume them fast, can apply them straight away because you can hold it next to whatever it is you're working on or take it to a meeting or whatever and use it. I believe that tick sheets are probably one of the best things to do, these lists, checklists. 7 things to make sure that you have done next time you have your car checked if you have never been to the mechanic before, or those sorts of things. You can do the same thing as what you did with a mortgage one, with the 7 reasons why your mortgage sucks, or 7 things to check to make sure you're getting everything right with your mortgage, depending on how you change your headline around. You can do that with a tick sheet as well. It doesn't need to be a booklet, it can be just a tick sheet. Again, people consume it, it's easy, and it's done. So it's really important when you're producing your lead magnet that you think about the overall picture when people are looking at it. So it needs a great title. So using a headline is really important. It has to be easy to apply. It has to look good when they open it. Don't turn up something that looks like it was done by a 5-year-old. You've just chucked it into Word and spat it out the other end and put a title on it. Okay, that's not good enough. Okay, if you went to a printer and they gave that back to you and said, "Here's your brochure," you'd have a fit. So why would you do that to someone you're trying to make into a customer? Do some design on it, even if you have to pay a little bit. And remember, it has to be valuable. That's really, really important. It's even better if it's something that they can use over and over and over again, like the SEO tick sheet. Every time they write a new page, they can get that sheet out and check that they've done it. Okay, makes sense, doesn't it? Here's a little example of one that I wrote. It's called Headlines That Sell Like Crazy. So simple headline on it. These foolproof headlines that will improve your marketing overnight. 300 easy to apply templates. And basically it's 300 headlines with a blank headline. So did you know that blank can do blank? And then there's an example. Now it's free to download. You can print it out or you keep it as a PDF. The headline is great. It works. It gets people's attention. The money on there catches people's eyes, and the colors are nice and bright and clean, and they match my branding. Okay, so bringing your branding into it also helps. I use this book myself when I'm looking for a headline. That's the stupid thing. Like you write something yourself and you're using it yourself, makes it even better. So anyone that's marketing online needs headlines. Okay, you need headlines, and you can download this book in the resources section. But this is a valuable thing and worth giving up an email for. But also get a nice look to it. There's a little barcode in the corner, makes it all look like a real book. It doesn't take long to do that. How do I do it? I use Canva, okay, and I use their design. Or I can buy a design cover like this from ThemeForest and edit it up in Photoshop if I want to. Now, you can get someone else to do it on Fiverr easily enough. There's probably someone on Fiverr who can design it for you for $5 or $20 even. It's well worth the time and the money to get it looking nice. So here's an example of a cover. This was the original a couple of years ago with some really terrible branding that I used to have. So 21 Days to Twitter Success by Brad Hauck. And it's just like one thing to do each day to get good at Twitter. And what I've done here is I've gone into Canva and I've opened up a book cover and I've changed it around and I've moved the colors to my new colors, which are gold and black and white, and I've dropped a picture in there. Now, I haven't gone too fancy on this one. It wasn't meant to be a lead magnet. I've just uploaded the resource into the resource section of the course, and I wanted to update the cover. But even without it being too fancy, you can see the difference it makes between the original cover a few years ago and this modern one. This one looks more like a modern book. It looks nice and clean. And yeah, look, I definitely could do a better job. But it took me 5 minutes to do that. So think about that when you're designing. Okay, Canva, for example, has book covers already done. All you've got to do is add a picture and type in the name of the book and the author. So don't have to reinvent the wheel to design it to make it look really good to download, but take 5 minutes, take a little bit extra time, or as I said, pay someone to do it. But that's the difference a couple of minutes can make to a cover for a lead magnet. Okay, so we've talked about some different types of lead magnets, but there's one that I haven't talked about, and this is the one that I am now recommending over all other lead magnets. And it's not new, it's been around for a while, but the results seeing what it gives back to people is so much more often, and also sets them up even better for your business than just a downloadable. So that is, in this case, quizzes and questionnaires. So there's all different ones on the web, and I've got a couple of examples here. So we've got one here called the Fascination Report, and this is a report, and it's tied into a whole back-end product, okay? But basically, you do the DISC formula, and you find out what your profile is. Well, this is the reverse. This is how other people see you rather than how you see you or you are, okay? So it gives you the perspective on your personality and how other people see that personality. It's fascinating, and that's probably why it's called a Fascination Report, but it's brilliant, and it gives you a full report. So you go through and you answer a set of questions, and at the end it compiles a colored report, as you can see there, with information about you based on what you were asked and what you answered. And it puts you into a range of different personalities. The second one is a career wake-up call quiz, and this one allows you to answer a few questions and work out whether you're asleep at the wheel, whether you're just coasting, or whether you're really pushing it in your career. And it's to help people move forward in their career rather than just sitting in a job that they may be just coasting in or not liking. Is there a way to make that better? How can they, what can they learn to actually be better at their job or their career? Not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. So this is a fantastic little quiz. Next one, how influential you are. The previous one was by Karen Schmidt. This one's by Jane Anderson. And this is all about influence. And again, just like the Fascination Report, you answer questions and you get a report back. And this is a key thing. You're not just asking questions and then you get a thing saying, You're a dog lover, you're a cat lover, you're a pet lover, or whatever it happens to be. There's not just a single answer. There's an explanation of what you are and why you're like that and what you can do. And then from that, you can actually have an upsell into book a time to talk with us, or come in and get a quote on such and such, whatever it happens to be. All of these things are personality based, I suppose, in this case, but they don't have to be. They can be about technical stuff. They can be about where your marketing's at. What you need to do is think about, your business, and could you use a quiz or a questionnaire to help people make a decision about what they're doing. So it might be getting a car serviced. Well, getting a car serviced, when was the last time you had the oil changed? Don't know. How do your tires look? Are they bald? Are they, fine? You could take someone around the car basically where they answer 10 questions. And then at the end it says, you need a full service or whatever. Get a little bit creative, but have a think about this. Let this stew up top for a while, and it may be something there for you. But if you want to learn more about how asking questions can really help in your business, have a look at the book Ask by Ryan Levis. I can't get it out. Have a look at the book Ask, okay? I owned it for a while, and you will see this used. He basically uses a process even within his website to delineate people. He asks questions on pages and then sends them off to different parts of his website based on the answers that they choose, so that his sales copy and the information he shows them is really related to who they are. So that can help you a little bit there. So think about quizzes and questionnaires. Eye-catching headlines and sales copy increase results. Having a lead magnet is fantastic, but the actual thing you put on your page to capture that lead is super important. So here's two different offers. This one's a list building challenge. So challenges are really popular. Basically people sign up and each day you send them something to do and they take the challenge. You measure before, you measure after, and hey presto, they've got better. Fantastic, easy. So that's a bit like a quiz, but it's a series of things to do. The other one is to claim your free book. All you do is pay shipping. Okay. Again, claim your free book. Free 30-day challenge shows you how to build your email list more in the next 30 days than you have in the last 3 months. Another great headline. Here's a couple more. So there's one for my headlines book. That's mine. So discover the amazing profit-producing power of a killer headline. Hundreds of headline templates, blah, blah, blah. And here's one from the Barefoot Investor. Take your first step free. How to triple your money, lower your tax bill, and follow common sense to incredible wealth. 3 points. Often when you lay things out, 3 bullet points is really good. But, it's the way they're written. They're bolded so they catch your attention. Okay? Take your first step free. There's that free word. And you fill in your name, address, and away you go. So having your lead magnet is one thing, but making sure that people actually, get their attention and get them to take action, that's another step. So think about producing a headline for your little ad to get people to sign up. So the task for this week: what lead magnet can you design for your audience that they will automatically want to get? Think about our checklists and those sorts of things. It's a great place to start, okay? Most businesses can knock up a good checklist that people can use over and over. And then I want you to build it, okay? It can be a 1-pager, that's fine, or it can be a 2-pager. Don't get stuck into writing a big book. You're just wasting time, and most people will never open an ebook. Let's face facts. If you look on your computer, how many ebook or PDF books do you think you've got? I reckon I've got 100, and out of those I'm pretty sure there's more than a third that I've never opened past the first page, because life's busy. You get caught up. So please don't go down the ebook route to start with. Okay, you can do that down the track. You can get on the Ghostwriter or whatever. Start out with something simple like a list, a checklist, 7 points to that they can read about doing something, whatever it is. Think about that. And have a think about the quiz aspect too. Could a quiz work for your business? Certainly in the knowledge area, so people who sell their knowledge, knowpreneurs as I call them, definitely quizzes are a great way to do it. So that's your task for this week. So let's review. You need to create a lead magnet. You need to think about what you're calling it. You've got to look at the graphics involved. But you need something that's irresistible, that people will happily give up their email address and name to get without thinking too much about it. In other words, it's a no-brainer. You see it, you go, oh, I need that. Got to have that resource. You saw the checklist that can be used over and over again to check SEO on each page. That's fantastic. It's repeatable. So every time they pick it up, they see your branding. And finally, do the task for this week and start to build and hopefully complete a basic one-page item that you can give away for free. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson, and keep working at it. You're getting there, and things are really starting to move along now. Everything we've done already should be starting to kick in.